Jai Gurudev. Now there is a story in Mahabharata. Now the brothers Krishna and Balrama, they were walking from one town to another. Now it got very late in the evening, in the night, and therefore Balrama decided to rest for a while, and then once it gets day, once it gets brighter, then Balrama said we can move ahead. So it was a dense forest, and Balrama thought maybe there could be some animals, some creatures that would harm them. So Balrama said, Krishna, why don't you sleep for a while? No, I will keep your guard, and then I'll sleep, and then you can keep my guard. Oh, we'll take this on a rotation basis. So Krishna said, okay, fine, we can do it. So Krishna slept peacefully, and Balrama was keeping the guard. In a short while, there appeared a very strange creature, and it made a huge noise, huge sound, a fearing noise. So Balrama got scared, and then he found out that it was a demon. Now, the demon started shouting at the top of his voice, screaming his lungs out, and Balrama got so scared, and he found that his height was getting reduced while the demon's height was getting increased. Now, once more, the demon screamed his lungs out, and Balrama, out of fear, he found that his height was getting reduced further, and the demon's height got increased. Third time, when the demon shouted at the top of his voice, Balrama could not bear any longer, and he said, "Oh, Shri Krishna," and he fell down unconscious. Now, hearing this sound, Krishna got up, and he found that Balrama was lying on the ground. And Krishna thought maybe he kept my guard, and now it is my time to keep his guard. So again, so Krishna started keeping guard of Balrama, and then this demon came, and he made a huge noise. Krishna very calmly but with a very stern voice, he said, "Hey, what do you want? Why are you disturbing us? My brother is sleeping." So listening to Krishna's sound, his calm and stern voice, the demon got scared. And it so happened that the demon's height reduced, and for the demon, Krishna's height started increasing. And once again, the demon tried to scare Sri Krishna, but Sri Krishna very calmly said, "Why are you shouting? What do you want?" And the demon's height got reduced even further. The third time when the demon shouted, it became a very small, his height became very small, and Krishna held him by his cloth, and he tied. So by this time it was sunrise time, and Balrama said, "Okay, now we can continue our journey." On the way, Balrama said, "You know what, Krishna, there was a demon yesterday." And Krishna said, "Talk no further." And he opened his cloth where he had tied, opened his cloth, and he showed that very small demon. Balrama was surprised. How is this possible? When I saw this demon, he was so big, so huge. Now you're holding him in your very small cloth. Now Krishna said, that is the lesson of life. Whenever there are worries, whenever there is fear in life, when we think that we are bigger than the worries, we are bigger than the fear, our height increases, our stature increases, and all the fears and worries, they look very small. On the other hand, if we think the fear, worries, they can overpower us, and they look very big, they look very huge, while we remain very small. Fear is just like a mirage. It doesn't exist. In English, there is a book that goes like false evidence appearing real. It is false evidence because it has not happened, but we worry about it, that it might happen. I'm thinking that it might happen, we start holding on to some unknown event in the future, and that is the cause of worry, fear. It says false evidence appearing real. Let's say there is a street light. When we look towards the street light, we can't see the shadow that is behind us. But when we turn our head away from the street light, we can see the shadow, and that shadow is like a demon. And the further we move away from the street light, the shadow appears bigger. The further we move away from the fear, the fear appears bigger. But if we take the fear head on, if we go towards light, if we go towards knowledge, then all the fear or the worries, they appear very false. Gurudev, in one of the satsang, he said, 85% of our worries, they don't come true at all. It's just the play of the mind, which is called Maya. And out of the remaining 15%, 90% of them we can easily handle it, through our strength. And the remaining 3-4% that is left, if we sit in satsang, if we do meditation, if we do chanting, that can also be easily erased. So fear is always about the unknown event that has not happened, but the mind clings on to the future, and that is the cause of fear. And the way to get out of fear is turning ourselves towards the light, towards knowledge, and making ourselves bigger than the worries and the fear, and making ourselves bigger than the events. And know that 85% of the fear or worries, future worries, they don't come true at all. Jai Guru.